body language and how players carry themselves on and off the field and how that plays into the recruiting process?
Great question. Body language, attitude, both on and off the field, character.
I'm just going to say one thing. If I see your mom carrying your cleats, your bag, you're probably not going to play up for us.
We run into this with guys that are new to the program. It's just one of those situations where if you carry yourself in a negative manner, we're either going to force you out of those actions and into positive body language, or we're going to force you out of our program.
Good, I'm going to touch on that real quick. I don't have any kids. My nephew's 13, so I'm getting to go to a lot of youth baseball games. And sometimes it's tough for me to watch because I understand the tournaments are not the best tournaments. The umpires are not good. And I get it, right? But there's nothing worse than seeing you guys at the plate on a bad ball. Right? How many of you guys have ever watched a Division I game or in the World Series and seen one of those guys on TV do that? Never, right? Or I've seen this, pictures. All right, the body language, the negativity has to stop, gentlemen. It's got to stop. It's got to stop being a point where it's all me. It's not. That's not me. It's the umpires showing up, umpires disrespecting the game. It's time to grow up and mature within the game of baseball. Anybody else want to touch on that? Because I think that's real important. Danny from South Dakota State University.
Well, a lot of times too, it's not just body language, but I think the way you can answer questions and one thing I like to do when talking to a prospective athlete or I'm on our campus or anything is just saying something simply, how did it go last night? How did your game go? When they turn to the team first, that's a huge indicator for me. I try not to ask too narrow questions about, did you go 3 for 4, all that. I just say, how did it go? And a lot of times a guy that's a leader, you touch on a catcher, I think needs to be a leader as well. On top of other tools, we'll go straight to the team, talk about how the team did, and then most of the time, you have to ask him again how he did. And for me, that's a guy that we want in our program that's focused on the team first, or his other buddies first.
Thank you. How about that guy that has no accountability? Nothing is his fault. There's always that player that's always blaming the umpire or something that went wrong. Parents, you can be very helpful in this resource. There's times when you're having a discussion with your player that you just have to say, hey, you just didn't get the job done. Don't blame the coach, whether it's the high school coach, the select coach, or don't blame the umpire. There's times when you guys need to take accountability. Anybody want to talk about accountability real quick before we move on?
Just second what Coach said earlier. If you're not willing to hold yourself accountable, whether it be on the field or in the classroom or in a public setting, then you're not going to fit the program. I think a great example is the University of Georgia first baseman who was dismissed from the team less than 2 weeks ago, went to a football game, made a really bad decision, said some really bad things that didn't have anything to do with baseball or anything like that, but because of those actions, he was dismissed from the team, and I think he probably dismissed from the university. But again, just second what Coach said, if you're not willing to hold yourself accountable to the standards of that program, then you will find your way out.
Thank you, Coach. Last